What's up, guys? Today, I want to talk about something that's been in the news lately, and that is the Menendez brothers. If you're not familiar, the Menendez brothers were a famous, pair of brothers that went to jail for murdering both their parents. And then it was a very much viral before viral moment. And that's kind of what fascinates me about it, because this was before my time, before I was born. So I didn't learn about it until, well after it happened. But it's just the way that story kind of captivated the nation and probably even the world, I'm guessing. And I just find that those types of stories so interesting, because that was like before you had centralized like new, and we don't even, it's decentralized, I guess you'd call it now, but people just weren't as in the know on every story the way they are now. But certain stories like this one, the OJ trial, all that type of stuff that just kind of skyrockets to the nation's attention and is being covered by like every news outlet. And also just like the multiple interesting factors surrounding that case, like them being at the basketball game. I think there's like a famous trading card that has them like in the background of the player. It might even be a Michael Jordan card. I can't remember the context of that picture, but it's just always been a fascinating part of like American history, because that's kind of what it is now. The Menendez brothers recently were both denied parole. They had a hearing. I think it was their first hearing ever for parole. I don't know the exacts of that, and if this was their first time eligible for it or what. I'm guessing it is. And they were both denied. And then I actually had one of the brothers like transcript or their audio leaked of the hearing, and apparently that wasn't supposed to happen. And the government agency or body that is in charge of that claims that it was records request that they fulfilled that they should not have. I don't know the exacts of it, but apparently that shouldn't have been out, and it was leaked, and people were talking about it. And it's just so weird too, because they committed these crimes when they were so young. It happened in '89. The article said they were 57 when they were at the hearing. So let's do some quick math there. Minus 25 plus 11, so that's 36 years younger. Minus the 30, that's 20. So they're like early 20s having done this. And obviously a big part of it as well is their seeming lack of remorse after the whole thing. And I mean, they claim that they were being sexually abused, I believe, by the father or something of that nature. And so that is why they retaliated and killed the parents. But obviously in hindsight, like, who knows what really happened? That easily could have been the case. But their behavior afterwards is just very, very jarring to people. They went on like a spending spree. They're at this basketball game. Like, they were living life like, they just won the lottery. And in reality, they just murdered both their parents. If your father was abusing you, I don't know what kind of trauma that would inflict, and who knows the reaction that is quote unquote proper for that type of situation. But people just didn't feel like there was much feeling in them, like, and period. Like, not feelings of remorse, just like feeling. The article describes how they have like antisocial traits. I think specifically they were talking about the older brother, but they seem very much of birds of a feather, and just they seem very, very serial killer-ish, to put it fucking mildly. Like, very much Dahmer type personality traits are in them. But interesting enough, there is a Netflix documentary I should watch that delves into the whole thing. I only really kind of know the bare bones of the case, but their relatives, the ones who I guess aunts, uncles, or whatnot, are like kind of behind them. They released a joint statement. Obviously, when it's a joint statement of the family, like, who knows? There's probably might be people taking individual sides. Some uncles not, some aunt, whatever it might be. But there's at least some relatives that are behind them, believe them, and they want to help them get out. Beyond that, who knows? I mean, you're 21. 21 is an adult, but yeah, obviously still a very, very young age, and you change a lot from when you're 21 to 57. Not saying that they're necessarily model citizens that need to be let out, immediately, but I can see maybe how the family might empathize with them, sympathize, whatever. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. I always just find these moments of American culture, like these big news stories that captivated the whole world, like so interesting. A Netflix documentary I did watch was the John Benet Ramsey, and there's just always such weird details that make these cases even more fascinating. Part of the reason that they're skyrocketed to the forefront of American media in the first place, but this one in particular has always just been such a intriguing one. Like all the photos of them that are released are always so eerie and off-putting, to put it in the simplest words I can. Obviously, that doesn't mean you're immediately guilty. They did kill the parents. They ain't denying that. They're more so just saying, hey, we were being abused, and maybe also the trauma or whatever didn't have us in the right space, is I believe like the argument they're going for. And I'm not going to say that wouldn't be the case. Like I said, if you're abused like that, probably doesn't do great things to you mentally. So let me know what you guys think about this case. If you have any details that may have been super important you feel like I didn't mention, let me know. But yeah, thanks for listening. Have a good one.